What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Rob. Today we're going to talk about why ignoring weekly calories is ruining your progress. Now, if you haven't already calculated your calories and you're watching this video, I would strongly advise that you click the link below to my previous video, how to calculate your calories for fat loss. Watch that short 9-minute clip, calculate your calories, and then watch this. If you've already watched it and you have a vague idea of how many calories you specifically need to eat to lose body fat, this video is going to help you out a ton. Alright, so as we know, if you've been following along so far, the only way we can lose body fat is to be in a caloric deficit. That means eating less calories per day and per week than your body needs to maintain its current weight. Any diet invented up until now is a calorie deficit in a dress. Even if you're not counting calories and you're on a particular diet, they have you in a calorie deficit, otherwise you would not be able to lose fat or to lose weight. It's the only way your body is able to lose weight over time, is to be in a caloric deficit, eating less calories than your body requires. So, if you've calculated your calories already, I'm excited for you to get into this video and let's discuss if your maintenance calories. So I'm going to use very broad calorie budgets here just for the sake of the video. When you rewatch this video, when you're applying this information, please don't take the totals I give you unless they are very, very specific to you. So let's say, for example, you've calculated your calories and your maintenance is 2,000 calories. So you need to eat 2,000 calories per day. If you consistently ate that you would maintain the same weight as you are now. As I discussed in my previous video, applying a slight deficit to your maintenance, a slight deficit, is advised at the start. Because you can always go lower if you want, but applying a slight deficit at the start is very sensible. So let's apply a 10% deficit to that number, which gives us about 1,800 calories. So as discussed, we've only talked about daily calories so far. And although it's important to get on top of what your daily caloric budget is, and that's very, very encouraged, we can't ignore that consistency is the main driver for any fat loss journey. We can't ignore that. So therefore our weekly budget comes into play. But it's very, very practical to track it once per day. Of course, 1,800 calories a day is very easy to work out in your head, but we can't ignore the importance of a weekly budget too. So let's look at what the science says around 1,800 calories versus what happens in real life. So what the numbers say over the course of a week is that if your maintenance is 2,000 multiplied by 7 days, it's 14,000 calories per week. Like we discussed before, if that's your maintenance, this is the number you would eat per week to maintain your current weight. If your calorie deficit, so a 10% deficit, is 1,800 per day times 7 is 12,600. Okay? So in theory, if you were to eat 1,800 calories every single day, you would be in a 12,600 caloric total at the end of it, which is a 1,400 deficit, okay? And if you were to maintain that over time, you would lose about £1 a week, £4 a month, not every single week, but on average £1 a week, which is good, sustainable progress. Now, let's look at what actually happens in real life. So the reality is that we don't actually eat exactly 1,800 calories every single day. Yes, we can track that and that's perfect. But life gets busy, we have family, we have a family schedule, we have a work schedule, we've loads of spinning plates in the air. How do we look at this in a realistic way? So this is the reality that what most people get into. So they'll start on the Monday and they'll track 1,800 calories. Then on Tuesday's a little bit busy, they don't really get a chance to eat lunch, so then they end up at about 1,600 calories. They're a little bit hungrier on Wednesday, so they eat 2,000. Same on Thursday, really manic day. The kids have soccer. You need to help out your spouse. I mean, you're manic, you're running around all day, you end up only eating 1,600. Then on Friday, you have a bigger lunch, you eat about 2,000. Even though that's not 1,800 every single day, if you had continued that up and down fashion by the end of the week, you still would have come to around 12,600, even though it's not exactly the same every day. But the weekly total, as long as your weekly total is within 12,600, you will still lose fat and lose weight. If it came to 14,000, you would have maintained weight. But what most people do is this happens during the week, then the weekend kicks in. They say, oh, I'm not going to track, you know what, they conveniently forget that they've got the app on the phone, they miss breakfast and they say, oh, what's the point, I'll start again on Monday. And then they consume about 3,500 calories, and they do the same on Sunday. And although they've been fairly on track Monday to Friday, their weekend budget blows their caloric deficit out of the water, and they end up consuming around 16,000 calories for the week. And if they were to continuously consume this throughout the week, even though they're kind of on track Monday to Friday, they would actually gain over £1 a week, and that's over £4 a month. And you can imagine what that is over a year, even though they think that they're on track Monday to Friday. And if you're someone looking at me going, oh, I couldn't eat 3,500 calories. First of all, that's a low estimation of what people eat in the weekends. Second of all, 3,500 calories, yes you could. You could definitely eat 3,500 calories in one day. 3,500 calories is, if your maintenance is about 2,000, is a daily intake, is your whole daily intake anyway, your normal daily meals, plus a bottle of wine and 3,500 calories is your normal daily intake if your maintenance is 2,000, plus a bottle of wine and 3 slices of Domino's pizza. That's it. So it's very easy to see how quickly the calories can shoot up, and how over the course of 2 days you can completely blow your deficit out of the water and end up actually gaining weight. Hopefully that shows you the importance of a sustainable approach. And at this stage of the video you might be saying, okay, well, if I know I eat more at the weekend, I'll just eat 1,200 calories every single day. And the problem with that approach is, and so many people do it, is that they feel so deprived of the foods they love Monday to Friday. They're lacking in energy. By the time the weekend rolls around and they don't have to worry about work and they're surrounded by tasty food, they just binge out. So they fall into this restrict binge cycle that they can't really get out of. Then they feel so guilty for over-consuming calories on the weekend that they then restrict more on that Monday, and then the cycle continues. So that's why we ask, and what's encouraged when I coach clients, is that you eat up closer to your maintenance, like we said before, closer to your maintenance, just shy of your maintenance, and stay consistent with that. Because you'll be less likely to binge on Saturday and Sunday if you're eating in a slight caloric deficit. Now, at this point you might be thinking, well, what's the solution? I know I eat more on the weekend, that's not going to change, but I know I should be eating enough on Monday through Friday. I understand that you're not a robot and you can't eat, or maybe you don't want to eat exactly the same every single day. Some people this might suit, but for most people this is not realistic with a busy schedule. So, if you join me tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how to lose fat on your terms, and teach you 3 different types of caloric deficits. And you could pick which one best suits your lifestyle. And that way you could eat in a caloric deficit that's sustainable, but then also leave a bit of room for the weekends. And this is far from a restrict binge cycle. This is very much just being very sensible with your restriction and making it fit into your weekly schedule, so therefore you're more consistent, you see better results, and you're more likely to stick with it over time and actually get those results and keep those results for the rest of your life. Because if that's not the aim, what's the point? So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please join me tomorrow, like I said, as I teach you how to lose fat on your terms. If you haven't calculated your calories yet, please click the link below, and that video will teach you how to do that. If you want to learn how to lose body fat without counting calories, I've also linked a video under there that will teach you how to do that. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.